Yes, what is up? It's Mish here with Fishy and Nails.
Hello, hello, hello.
Today we'll be talking about hockey and how it's a game of deception.
Continuing from the last video.
Yep, it's a game of deception. So watch till the end and you'll
Absolutely.
find out what we mean. Okay, so somebody told us that we weren't going in depth enough and that our videos were too long, so we're gonna take this advice and try to make a better video for you guys. Okay, so hockey is a pretty complex game. There's 5
Absolutely.
players, 1 center, 2 wings. One is a left wing, one is a right wing. The left wing is on the left side usually, and the right wing is usually on the right side. Then there's 2 defensemen, the left defenseman
Mhm.
and the right defenseman. The right defenseman usually covers the right side, but sometimes they go into the middle, and the left defenseman also goes into the middle. The
Every so often.
video will be a photo of the ice so that it makes sense. Yeah, and you can picture them. If you could picture them like that. If not, I'll just find a picture where you'll see like the face up position. And yeah, so Fishy, your turn.
Yes. So, in the last video, we talked about some of the penalties. Well, there's not only like 6 penalties in the entire game, there's way more than that. There's
Uh-huh.
one such as boarding,
Can I say
there's
one,
one
Fishy?
such as too many men.
Fishy,
And
wait, Fishy. Can I say something?
yes.
There's also a penalty called embellishment, and we'll go more in depth about it at the end when we talk about deception. Don't forget to like and subscribe too if you like the
Okay.
video.
Yeah, so boarding is basically when you ram a kid into a wall. Basically, not the
And they're going face first.
they're going face first. Yes, that'll cost you sometimes 2 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, depending on
Depending on
how
how
much
depending
injured
on
he
if
is.
the victim is injured or not.
Yep.
Yes. And, another penalty is too many men. Like Mish was saying, there's 5 players on the ice and 1 goalie. If you have a 6th player on the ice with a goalie on the ice still, then that is called, and he is part of the and he has possession of the puck. That is called too many men, and it's worth 2 minutes.
Yep.
Nails,
Nails,
to take
would
it
you like
away?
to talk about empty nets?
Yeah. Usually when you see a team emptying their net, it's most often towards the end of the game, usually about with 2 minutes left. This is usually in an act to try to get at least one more goal to either tie the game or get close to tying so that they could have one last fighting chance.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's also one more time when it happens. Would you like to tell us about that? Like in the middle of the game, if a penalty gets called, what happens?
Oh yeah, in the middle of the game, if a penalty gets called, most often the player will have to sit 2 minutes in what is called the penalty box,
Mm-hmm.
and the team that has taken the penalty will be one man short, giving the other team a higher chance
Yep.
at
And
scoring and getting ahead in the game if they're tied.
yep.
Yes. More going on penalties. If there is a delayed penalty, the play will continue until the team that has caused the penalty touches the puck.
Yep.
That is the reason why a team that did not cause the penalty take out their goalie so they can have a 6-man on the ice and try to score, since the other team cannot touch the puck.
And also, I'm gonna talk a little bit more in depth about the ice. Okay, so the ice is a very special one, as I said in the previous episode. But now that I told you about the players, let me tell you about their usual spots. Because you'll be seeing a photo of the ice. So, okay, let's say my goalie is on the left side, and I'm on offense. Usually, my center goes to the front of the right net and he tries to either tip it in or get a rebound. Tipping is when the defense or a winger shoots the puck and you touch it with your stick or your body, and then it goes into the net because of that. Rebounds is if it goes off of the goalie and it and you get another shot and it goes in the net. Or it doesn't have to go in the net, it's still a rebound.
Yes.
Yes. And if you're playing defense, the defenseman will usually set up shop close to the blue line of the offensive zone because they want to be back in case the other team steals the puck and takes it up. This gives us a good talk to transition into the next zone, the defensive zone, because the neutral zone not much happens in position wise. In the defensive zone, your two defensemen will usually be closest to the left net, your net, and they'll try to make blocks, or if the other team gets closer, they'll try to steal the puck. The wingers will usually go to the defenseman, see if they can steal it away or block a shot. The center usually just follows the puck and tries to make a good play, steal it or pass it or make a block.
Mhm.
We will now move on to the fantasy of yesterday because yesterday 14 games were played.
14, a whopping 14 games were played.
Yes,
28
Fishy,
teams.
would you like to talk about that?
Yes. So in the fantasy recap, we have seen that the Sharks were demolished by the Avalanche, 7-3, and
I
pretty much
believe demolish is quite an understatement. They were dismantled in that game.
wow.
For those who don't know too much about hockey watching, the Avalanche scored 7 goals on the Sharks net, and our goalie was doing so bad that they needed to switch it. And yeah, that's
Yeah.
what. And this is bad for the Sharks players in fantasy hockey because it takes away their plus minus because plus minus is if you're on the ice for your team scoring or for the other team scoring. You get a plus if your team scores and a minus if the other team scores. So, and that's bad for fantasy for the Sharks players, but good for fantasy on the Avalanche players. And that's usually how it will be for all the other teams.
Also, talking about fantasy, if you can, try to get as many Dallas Stars players on your squad. Not too many though, but at least a decent amount, 2 or 3, because the Dallas Stars are on fire. And I repeat that. They look like they're gonna win that division. But I still think that Tampa Bay Lightning could sneak out away with that.
Hmm.
Nails
And also, if I were you, I'd manage trying to pick up either Mitch Marner or Connor McDavid, both of
You're
which
not
are
going to pick
tied
up
for
either of
first
those.
in the league in points with 12 each, and are both on teams that are doing relatively well.
Yes, I think we have time for you to talk about scores yesterday. Would you like to?
Hmm.
Talk
A
about
brief
some of the
summary of the
wild cards.
Say just the score.
scores. Yesterday, we had the Bruins facing off against the Penguins, and we had a game for the ages that went down until the end. The Bruins, however, ended up being victorious, winning 3-2. Once again, another close game. Panthers beat the Blue Jackets, not in overtime, but in a shootout. Flyers, however, it wasn't very close. It wasn't as close as the other ones, with the Flyers demolishing the Devils 5-3.
Mhm.
Sabres beat the Rangers 3-2 in a pretty close game. Same score with the Capitals versus Islanders, with the Capitals being victorious. Kings beat the Wild 2-1. Predators beat the Blackhawks 3-2 once again in OT.
Mhm.
We have the Oilers versus Jets in a high-scoring game where the Jets beat the Oilers 6-4. Stars take a win over the Red Wings in OT. The Maple Leafs beat the Flyers 4-3.
Maple Leafs cannot beat the Flyers.
Oh, sorry. The Maple Leafs beat the Flames.
Mhm.
Avalanche absolutely dismantled the Sharks in a 7-3 win.
Mhm.
Coyotes. Oh, sorry. Ducks goaltender throws. The Ducks goaltender throws out a shutout, winning one. Cut this part out, please.
No,
Cut the part about the Ducks out.
no.
Coyotes lose 0-1 in a very well played defensively game with the Ducks. And finally, the Blues beat the Golden Knights. Smasher Mish and Fishy Icy, back to you.
Yes. Moving on to our next segment. If you did not notice in the last two podcasts, in the first one, I said that I hope that Tim Stützle has a great game when he's back from injury. Well, he had a terrible game. Then in the second podcast, I said that Martin Jones was probably going to have a good game. He did not. So,
Okay.
instead
That-
of that, I'm talking about the fishy curse. I think that every player that I mentioned that I think they're going to do good, I think do not end up doing good.
Okay.
So,
And
moving on to
because
the last one.
because we want to keep our video short, we would like to talk about deception as we promised in the beginning. So in hockey, there's what you call deeks. If I
Or
were
dang,
you, as soon
or
as
moves.
you're done with this video, I would suggest you watch some of those clips. They're very beautiful.
Very
Sometimes
amazing to watch.
some guys make the other team fall on the ground because it's so beautiful and they get tangled up in themselves. And let me just talk about this before we end our video. Pavel Datsyuk. He's one of the best players of all time, and he's called the Magician. He made up a special move called the Datsyuk,
The
or
Dotsie clip.
the backhand toe drag, where he takes it on a stick, takes it back so he's holding it, and then shoots it or flips it right over the goalie. And I don't think a goalie has saved it like 5 times. I think he's scored on almost every time he's done it.
Yep, he has.
Maybe if we
Okay.
could get a clip going right now of the Datsuk move.
No.
To a lot of people, one of the greatest
We'll-
danglers
we'll-
of all time.
We will link a video in the description of Datsuk. Okay, as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and join our Discord if you want to and watch our Twitch.
Peace out,
And
and we'll see you
we'll see you on the other side.
very soon. We will see you very soon.
As I said, please have a good day. Stay safe. Hope you have a great one.